Hi there, this is Aaron with Samsung, and I'm going to show you today the Smart Viewer software. This software allows us to connect to IP cameras, NVRs, and DVRs for live viewing, playback, search, and downloading of video. When we start it up the first time, we have to set up what our admin password is, a minimum of 8 characters, and has to have numbers and letters. So I'll type in my new password here twice, and then we can go ahead and we get to the login screen where I can type in my password. The ID is not case sensitive, and you have the option of saving the username so you don't have to type it in next time. There also is an option for auto login that I'll show you in a little bit. The first time we launch it, it takes us to the setup page so we can configure the options. We'll come back to these options in a little bit. We're going to work on the device button at the top where we can add our cameras or recorders to our system. We can hit the auto button and the software goes out, looks on my network, finds my cameras. What we can do is we can click on the first camera that we want. We type in the username and the password that's in the camera. We hit connection test if we want to verify that it can communicate and the password is correct. And then once we're ready, we can hit register. And you'll see behind that window it lists my camera now. And then we can continue going to other devices that we want, hit register, and go on down the line. When we're done, hit close. We also have the option of to apply the camera titles. So if I've named my cameras, those titles will be pulled in after we connect to them so that we don't have the generic name over here. We also want to create a group the first time. We can create just a simple name there, or you can have more complex names there. We can double click to rename it if we would like. And then we select a group, we select our camera, and then we push that camera over to a group. You have to do them one at a time. You select the device on the left, group on the right, move them on over. Now, if we ever need to make a change to a device, we can select that device on the left and click on Device Setup Page, and it's going to take us right to the setup page of that device. So it's very easy to make changes to the camera settings as needed. Once we're ready, we can hit close, and you'll see back on our main screen of Smart Viewer, we can connect to individual devices such as a DVR or NVR. If these are IP cameras, that wouldn't be so useful. What's better is to log into the group, select your group, hit the connect button, and it's going to try to connect up to our cameras, and the device status will show me if it was successful or not. And then we'll start seeing our selection tree of available devices in a moment. There we go. So we can scroll up, and you'll see we're viewing our cameras here. We've got the names of each camera. Front, for example, the name was pulled down from the camera. We'll go through the interface in a little bit. Let's go back into the settings here. If you want to make changes to the settings, you have to disconnect all your devices. Back on the main viewer page here, we have options for the on-screen display, which options we want to show or hide. Our time and date format that we would like. The capture path, where we should save video or where we should save snapshots to. When we hit the snapshot button right here on the bottom left, and do we want to save it to a bitmap or a JPEG. And then we also have a recording path that we can browse to on our machine here. And we have the option of saving as an SEC file or an AVI file. The SEC is the Samsung proprietary format, so it can be used in court as evidence, or an open AVI format. And we have the option of saving a password, the user password, as a password for that video file, and how long we should wait. If you don't push the stop recording button, should it time out automatically after a certain amount of time, up to 2 hours. If we're doing sequence, how long each camera should be displayed for. And then if we want to be notified about events such as motion detection, analytics, audio detection, by default they're all checked, so it's going to exclude them. It's not going to pop up and notify me. If I want to be notified about these types of events, we can uncheck them. And do I want to have a sound play every time there's an event? We can check this button here, and you can hear the sound. We can browse to a different sound file if we choose, and we can tell it to play the sound file once or continuously until you reset that. And then discard time. If you have multiple events back to back to back, how long should it wait before it displays an event again? And do we want the event window to automatically populate or not when there's an event? We can disable, we can hide any cameras that are turned off or not available, or we can click the button to allow me to see them so I can see if some of them are missing. And do we want to keep the aspect ratio of the camera, or do we want to stretch it to fit in the window there? If I made any changes, make sure you hit the apply button. The next one is the hide camera option. This will be if you have a camera that's a covert and you don't want certain people to be able to view them, or if a camera is down temporarily. What we can do is we can select a camera and we can click it. We hit the down arrow and it goes to the deselected option. We can push it back up and now it's available. This would be if we had a DVR, NVR, a multi-channel device. We click it on the left side. The multiple channels would show up on the right-hand side. Also, you'll see each device might have additional other things under it, such as an alarm input. We can hide that alarm if we're not using it so it doesn't show up. It doesn't bother us there. The user menu here, we have the option of auto login, so I don't need a password. Great for a simple workstation to view everything. We can edit some of the administrator information and change the password. And then we can also create new user accounts here. So we can type in my name. Again, it's not case sensitive, it's all uppercase here. You have to check for a duplicate ID, make sure that that username is available. Give it a password, confirm the password, and then you can fill in other information if you need. And then you have permissions here. Do you want to restrict any permissions? What are they allowed to do? So if I want someone to be able to just view live, do pan tilt zoom, and that's it, then we're done. If I want them to be able to go into the setup menu, we can select some of those options as needed. We can always edit or delete a user account from here as well. Another great feature of Smart Viewer is the Auto Update feature. We can check this box and have the software look for, if we're on the internet, look for a new version to update once, one-time event scheduled every day, every week, or every month. We can also do a manual update. Just hit the button right here. You'll see the version I'm running is over here. We hit Smart Viewer Update, give it a couple seconds, and it will come back and tell me if there's an update. And it tells me I have the latest version, so we're good to go. There's an export option. If I've made my changes, if I've configured this, and I want to export this as a backup, we can then save that to a file. We can then use that backup to import to other machines or just have a copy for safekeeping. And then we can then import those changes, and they break it out based on viewer, device, and user settings. And the last menu here is we have logs. We can view the logs, search the logs, or delete the logs. Once we've configured the software, we can now go ahead and actually use it. So again, we're going to select my group or cameras and hit connect. It'll connect up. And we've got my list of devices over here. Using the software is very easy. I can double click on a camera. We can go full screen to that camera. Double click again, we go back to where we were. We can take a camera and drag it to a different square and it'll move it over. We can also, on the left hand side here, select my cameras, drag it to a square, and it will display. We can change our patterns on the bottom of the screen here. We have a 1, a 4, a 9, 16, 25, and 36. If we switch to 16:9 aspect ratio, we have some different patterns that we can view. Anything we're viewing here, we can always go full screen at the bottom here. To release full screen, just hit Escape on your keyboard. If we want to hide any control panels, you'll see a black arrow. Click on it. That will hide any of the control panels on the bottom or on the left here, depending on what my needs are. If we scroll down on my pane on the left, we've got my alarm outputs where I can toggle an alarm output. All we need to do is select the output we want, hit the alarm on button, and that will turn it on or off. And you'll see the color of the icon will change there to alert me. You can see it's red now, and it'll continue to be on until I turn it back off. We can scroll down again to our events, and any events that will be coming in would show up in here, and they show you totals of the different types of events, and you can then clear them, delete them from there. Device status, if you're having issues trying to see what's going on, we can view our status messages there. Favorites is kind of cool. We can select the cameras we want in the patterns that we want. Hit the add button here, and we can call this 6cam. Whoops. And now if I change to a different pattern and double click on my favorite, it's going to go back to the way we had it set up. So very easy. You can select one and hit modify and rename it if you want. We can also sequence through groups of favorites that we've created. We have a digital zoom where we can zoom on in. Oops. Let me turn my sequence off. There we go. We have a digital zoom. We can zoom on in, and then we can move the box around the screen. Zoom in, zoom out, and you'll see the reference box on the screen to show me where I've zoomed into. And then finally, we have our pan tilt zoom controls if we're using a pan tilt zoom camera. If we're using a fisheye 360 camera, there's a fisheye button here that allows me to enable fisheye controls. I would then be able to right click on the video and choose my fisheye mode and my installation position. If a camera has an alarm, you can always reset it by right clicking. There's also a change profile. I can view any of my 10 profiles. They've populated the different profiles here from the camera. I can select, for example, the mobile profile, lower res, right there. Right click, go and change a different profile. Nice and easy to do that, to check and verify how your system has been set up right from here. We can also right click and capture, start recording. I'm sorry, that's the capturing a snapshot. That button is also here, capture. We have a print, and then we have record, local recording. We click that button, and that camera will now be recording. You can see on the bottom right hand side here, there's a red record light. It will continue recording until I push the button again, or until I hit that time limit. In this case, the default was 10 minutes. Hit record again, and that red record light will go off in a minute. And now that video has been saved to that location. This is independent of how it's been recorded to an NVR or DVR. Other options here, we can enable or disable a two-way audio, listening to the audio, microphone to talk to a camera, or clearing our events. We have our zoom in, zoom out if we have a PTZ camera. Zoom all the way back out, original size of the video. We can delete all tiles. So if I've got lots of cameras up, if I want to remove the video, or I don't want to use up too much bandwidth, click the button, it asks me, are you sure? And all my video tiles go away. I'm still connected to my group, but it gets rid of them for now. We can initialize our sequence, start sequencing through cameras. We have our on-screen display. Let me get a camera going up again. We have our OSD. If we want to take the text off the screen, if it's in the way, we can turn that on or off. And then we also have a brightness and a contrast. Now this is being done on the local PC without affecting what's happening to the camera. And as I click it, you'll see numbers appearing on the screen there. So I can make adjustments, tweak the video there. We also have control of our defog. Right now I'm in auto mode at a setting of 10. You can change the level of defog here, and it might take a couple seconds to see it change. We can also turn defog off, and we can also do the manual controls. And when you make your changes, you can change your level, and it'll take a couple seconds for that to take effect. I like defog auto. That's the basic interface there for Smart Viewer viewing live video. We can also go to our search tab on the top right to playback video. And this will play back from a DVR or NVR, or if we have an SD card in the camera. So I've got my 3 cameras here, same interface. I've selected my first camera here. I can go through and select a date. You'll see today's date is underlined. I'm sorry, today's date is selected. There's an underline, meaning there's video for that device, for that channel, for that day. You'll see here I've got my list, my timeline, and color-coded for when there's video. I can double-click anywhere on the timeline bar, and the camera will jump to that spot. Once I'm at that spot, I can then hit play, and I'm playing back my video full resolution, full frame rate, streaming it through the SD card, through the network from that camera. Then we have our normal VCR playback controls. Play, fast forward, rewind, pause, next record, previous record. We have a capture button, again, to save a still image of what we saw. We have a print. We have some audio listening capabilities or volume. Zoom in, zoom out. Original size, full screen, changing multi-screens, on-screen display, toggle, and again, brightness and contrast. You'll see if we go really high, you'll start seeing that brightness taking effect after a couple seconds. We can zoom in and out of our timeline here. We can click the arrow to move back and forth in it. And they'll be color-coded based on the types of events. You can also put in a specific time. If I know I want a right on the dot, I can use the arrows and click through, hit go, and it will jump right to that spot there. Once you've found the video you want, if you need to make a backup of that video, if you want to export it, download it to the PC, there's the backup button here, the 2 discs, and it tells you you have to stop the playback to go into that mode. Tell it yes. And we can put in our start time and end time, our location is saved to. We checked our camera here, and then we can hit start, and we'll get a percentage of how long it has to download that video. And that'll vary based on your network speed, the resolution, the compression, the frame rate, and how much video you're trying to download and how many cameras you have there. I'm going to go ahead and stop that for now.